We're 5 mythical immortal players with over 40,000 matches of experience, and for this video... Wait, what's that? Dear brothers and sisters, let's give our moment of silence for the Mage and Marksman emblem. Why? Cause they're dead, and I will show you why. With the new and revamped emblem system given by the developers, people should have an easier time setting up their emblems. Right? Well, apparently not. We have 7 emblems with 42 talents in total, which gives us a grand total of 3,584 possible emblem combinations. Yay! Nerd stuff. At least we can see in-game what emblem and builds the pro player suggested. So, as they are the pros, we can trust them. Right? Well, many of them stated they were never even asked by Moontone which emblem combination they would recommend. Cool, right? So throw these so-called pro builds into the garbage and listen closely which emblem you should use. Or rather, which one you shouldn't use. Because firstly, the Mage emblem is dead. After the revamp, the base stats you can get from this emblem is just plus 30 magic power, 5% cooldown reduction and plus 8 magic penetration. Sounds cool when you first look at it, but you might be wondering, oh, I need that extra magic power during the early game with no items.
Are you stupid or something?
Wrong. Do you have to immediately clash with your counterparts like an XP laner? No, you just need to clear your first wave. And besides, a fixed penetration bonus is always way better than raw magic power in the early game. But we get ahead of ourselves. Oh, how about the CD reduction works well cause I can use my skills faster. Wrong again. Common mage items for cooldown reduction normally are magic shoes, enchanted talisman, fleeting time, and lightning junction. So if your hero needs CD reduction, you can solve this problem by simply building them. But what about the mana and survivability? Can the Mage emblem offer that? Now is the part where I tell you, probably all mages should use a different emblem than the Mage emblem. And I can prove this with numbers. First, we have a look of one of the best high-rank mages, Eve. Eve is not your full-on burst mage. Rather, she's a utility mage, which makes her a perfect example. As probably many of you already heard, the burst mages are way better off with the assassin emblem. Now without items whatsoever, what are Eve's weaknesses? Firstly, her high mana usage and low mana stats. Secondly, her high cooldowns. And thirdly, as a mage, she's very squishy. Now, what emblem and talents work on her if not the Mage emblem? The answer is the basic common emblem. To everyone's shock, this emblem straight up gives you plus 15 hybrid regen, plus 275 HP, and plus 22 adaptive attack. This already solves her mana problem, as well as her lack of survivability and magic power. Remember, the Mage emblem has no mana or HP regen, nor does it offer you more HP for a bit more survivability. When choosing your talents, she can pick Inspire for that 5% CD reduction which was originally part of the Mage emblem. So we can cover all of her weaknesses. Since when the game starts, she already has the following. Hybrid regen for her mana, which makes her less reliant on demon boots or enchanted talisman, adaptive attack, which makes her less pressure to build damage early, and CD reduction, which makes her less reliant to build CD reduction items and focus on her core items instead. Her nerfs made her mana and cooldown dependent, but with these little changes on her emblem, you have a much easier early game. How amazing is that for our chessboard queen Eve? Alrighty, after a utility mage, let's head over to our big busty... I mean, bursty burst mage, Eudora. Let me ask you this question. What is the one thing that counters Eudora? Psych times up magic defense. And what's that can increase her magic damage? Psych again, penetration. Do you also know that the Mage emblem gives 8 penetration, while the Assassin emblem gives you 16? And are we really setting for less when we can have more? That's right, Eudora can benefit much more from the Assassin emblem like the true assassin that she is. Now I already know I spoiled that earlier, but I wanted to test if you were actually listening to me. But what does this give her in exchange for the Mage Emblem? You get plus 16 adaptive penetration, plus 10 adaptive attack, and 3% movement speed. That all incredibly helps Eudora to counter the enemy's defenses, while also gaining more mobility in the game, which a dashless hero like her desperately needs. When the Assassin Emblem is paired with the talents Weapon Master and Lethal Ignition, you can deal better damage and gain more magic penetration in the game. Paired with items such as Genius Wand and Divine Glaive for magic defense reduction and magic penetration, plus Holy Crystal, Blood Wings, and Lightning Junction for magic power, you can easily wipe out any enemy as they are defenseless against you. Wanna see some stats? Alright, hold on. In short, Eudora deals higher damage with the Assassin Emblem. You can go against defenses such as Athena Shield and Radiant Armor, and she still deals more damage compared to the Mage Emblem. This is due to the difference in flat magic penetration, which is only 33 for the Mage Emblem with Genius Wand, while it's 41 for the Assassin Emblem. Against enemies with no defense, the difference is even higher, as the damage is 5.4% higher. And now think about that you have this 5% more damage throughout the whole match, simply by choosing the correct items with the same talents. Put things into perspective, eh? By the way, if you need more personalized help in becoming better in ML, make sure to become a member of the MLG family and get your gameplay analyzed or request your own personal guide. Just click on the join button and explore it further. Now we go to another unique mage in the game, Sicilian the Bloodsucker. As a regular user of the Cloak of Destiny and Lightning Junction combo, we often overlook his ultimate skill. His ultimate skill is a self-healing skill that allows him to restore his lost HP 36 times by 10 to 15 and 1% of his lost HP. Whew, that sentence was so long. Now, since concentrated energy does not help him as he's a burst mage with a good range, the only core item that offers him spell vamp is Ice Queen Wand. Now, does he really benefit from the Mage Emblem? I guess you already know the answer, so what emblem can he use? Well, my friend, I present to you the Support Emblem. You get plus 15% healing effect, plus 10% cooldown reduction and 6% movement speed. And what happens again during his ultimate? Yes sir! You guessed it right! More healing and more movement speed at the same time. But you might think, meh, I need damage, the healing is just during team fights. If I stay away, I will not die anyway. That's a wrong mindset. With a sustained skill that he can use, not only can he burst down enemies, but he is the one out of 2 mages alongside Lunox who can restore their HP using their skills. This in return increases Sicilian survivability in the game, which makes him easily an A-tier mid laner in the current meta. And if you still don't believe me, let me get my beautiful Axel Sheet out. Here we can see that there's an increased amount of healing both when he has no spell vamp and when he does. Overall, the Support Emblem is 7% more effective in restoring his HP. And generally speaking, he is a late game monster. He relies on the items and his decks that he gains throughout the whole game. So there's no need to slap that early magic power and weak magic penetration from the Mage Emblem on him. Now, this might be a bit more controversial, but the Marksman Emblem is also dead. Buried. Dead. Period. Not the talents, of course, but the emblem itself is useless AF. Wanna see some examples? Let's go! We start with one of the attack speed reliant marksmen, Monkey Boy. But why am I against the Marksman emblem for him? Well, let's compare it with the basic common emblem. Here is it able to differentiate both. I cannot speak English. Now to compare which one wins over the other, let's do some basic judging. The hybrid regen is better as you don't need to trigger it in any way, plus you get extra mana regen, which is really useful for our mana hungry monkey. Why would you even settle for 15% attack speed, which is equal to the attack speed boots, when you get the Trinity build anyway, which gives you up to 105% attack speed already, plus the extra 100% from Golden Staff's passive for every third attack? Don't you rather have this extra HP? Because, as we all know, Claude is very weak during the early game. Still don't believe me and wanna see more? Math! He deals an increased amount of total possible damage with the basic emblem due to the higher adaptive attack as a base stat. he does not lose as much mana like he does when he's using the Marksman emblem. And lastly, due to the hybrid regen, he can survive longer on his lane without recalling. It's crazy how these small things matter big time in a real game. Right? Next up is Nathan. As a marksman that should use magic items, well, mostly magic items, he obviously have different needs than our attack speed and physical attack marksman. So, what does Nathan need to become more effective as a marksman? Simply, it's penetration, attack speed, and lifesteal. Now with the Marksman emblem only giving him one of these things, which emblem is better for him? I present to you again the Assassin emblem. This gives him better penetration, which in return makes him not choose adaptive penetration as the first hit talent, but rather use swift instead. This trait is way better than using the Marksman emblem but equipping the adaptive penetration over swift. Why is this so? He already lacks in the attack speed department, so we somehow need to make up for it without building too many attack speed items and rather focus on damage. Here's a table showing that the Assassin emblem works better than the Marksman emblem in 3 categories. Nathan straight up deals more damage when using the Assassin emblem due to the higher adaptive attack, and the only downside is that the Marksman emblem alongside Stalum's Scythe can restore more HP through lifesteal. Why am I even sharing this, and why do I still push for the Assassin emblem? In the game we cannot solely rely on lifesteal to keep your hero alive. They should be able to penetrate as much defense as they can and deal as much damage as they can. It's a small itemization problem anyways, because you can just slap concentrated energy on him as this gives you a bunch of spell vamp. Now, let's look at our one-shot, one-kill queen, Leslie. She's also a special case, as her kit is meant to deal heavy true damage and not fast but low damage. She's no Hannafit Moskov or Melissa, so the Marksman emblem is really useless on her. And it's again time to gush over the Assassin emblem. Yo, here's stats and you look if you have brain from Fly who can't remember things from 2 minutes ago. Pair that up with Malefic Roar and Blade of the Despair. No, I said Blade of the Despair again. And we crawl back into our nerd cave. So the additional penetration from the Assassin emblem, coupled with the penetration from Malefic Roar and the true damage from her passive, and the extreme physical attack from BOD makes the Assassin emblem the clear winner. And if you watch this part without screaming at the screen what a total idiot I am, you should definitely check out this video where we show you 3 mechanics every ML player needs to know. Now a huge shout out to our MLG family members, especially our glory members Van and OG VOV Fiend. See you over there!